Hello and welcome to Rainy Day Crafting. Hope you're good. Well, we're halfway through our challenge, or my challenge I should say. So can you remember I did say if you get any scraps that you cut off anything, pop them in a container, jar or whatever, because we are going to use them. Today is the day we're going to make that card. I'm using a regular size card. They're just, the pre-cut cards already. 4 by practically 6. Okay, what I've just already done ready, I've cut another piece of paper card practically the same size. Okay, so that's the card we're going to work on, but this is what we want in the meantime. Okay, so with my strips now, let's just get some out. You can literally, I did actually get out to put the double-sided tape, adhesive where you peel on and then they all stick on. And I thought, actually, do you know what? Really save a little bit of that, because I always sort of keep all my scraps. This will work just as easy. I'm not sure if I want that's my gluing. No, probably so. So now what we're going to be doing is trying to coordinate all these they're all sort of Christmassy colours anyway. And you probably can already see what I'm practically doing. Let's have a little bit of brightness in it too. Bit of red, so they all sort of coordinate. So it's just a case of get all your bits and pieces roughly as to what you want to do. And this is really quite an easy little task. So with no ado, I am going to pair of scissors. Actually, before I put that on there, do you know what? I might just put literally that one across the middle. So easy to do. Glue, you could use sticky pegs, you can use double-sided tape. Again, this is one of those things, like I often say, if I was now doing this, I would then leave it for a while. I'm going to just literally pop that corner to corner. Okay, don't worry about the edges, not a problem at all. Now, if you want to do, for example, if you were using your double-sided tape, if you then left a little gap in between, if you want to glitz it up a bit, you could then sprinkle some of your embossing powder on and emboss it in between. But I'm actually going to put them sort of, well, closest together. There might be a little tiny bit of a gap, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so glue. Quite a quick little card to do, I believe, but it's using up your scraps. It's almost like in crafting. Crafting is one of those things, isn't it? I think once you start crafting, there's always things you want to buy on the market. I did think, I mean, I'm doing well on my challenge so far. But I generally did think, I know it's not going to be so good for all the companies I buy from. But not that one person's going to make that difference. But I have got a lot of dies, a lot of stamps and things. I did think, what about if I challenge myself to not buy any, for, I don't know, I was going to say for a year, but probably that's absolutely impossible, isn't it? So let's just do something else more. All the colours, I sometimes think when you get them out of similar packs, they often coordinate. But what I'm going to show you in a minute, I'm going to do something that I feel really does bring them together. But strips, if you haven't got any strips, obviously you can cut something, can't you, to that's that lovely mirror card, rainbow card, sorry. I think it's lovely. Right, let's have a little look. I'll cut off the extra there. Oh, I don't know, actually, that might have been. Actually, so that actually, I think I prefer that side. So let's just, I mean, you can lay them all out and decide exactly what you want to do. Another one there. Where are we at? That's very similar. Green strip. Yep, not too bad. This is my sticky board, and I'm then putting it on my mat. Try and keep another little board as much as anything, because if not, you get glue everywhere. I have my sticky scissors, and even, that sort of gets to you, because the blooming things, get so sticky. Excuse me, I don't got my nail there. So I'm leaving it, you know, just with a tiny little edge between. Okay, so keep going. Nearly there, to be fair. There's obviously a little bit needed up the top here. Let's do a wider bit, because that way that will cover there. Like I say, I use some sort of this wipeable, washable board. There's one there. So where we're at, you probably look at some of these and remember the cards I've done over the challenge so far. Oh, not quite big enough. Oh, let's just move that down. What have we got? What have we got? What is that? Oh, look at that. Just smaller. Hang on, let's just see what we've got. Would you believe it? That just fractionally smaller. I just need one bigger piece. One bigger piece will do. Oh, there we are. A bit of glitzy stuff on that. That's fine. As you'll see with the finished effect of this card, it is really quite effective. So let's just have a little look. Have these up the right way. These little glue bottles, I think I got off eBay a few quid, nothing much at all, but they are so good because you fill them up and they're ready to go for ages. I tend to store them in a little container all upside down with my glossy accents. And actually, since I did my wobbly, I think was it my last card? You know, I lose track of which card. The wobbly gingerbread man. I've got some spare ones in there. Although I did think I'll probably totally forget when I'm looking for one where I put them. But I'm saying that, I'm relatively organised in my room, really. I know where most things are. Like I say, I don't know how well you can see that, but I've literally left a little tiny bit in between. A bit of plaid there, maybe. Like I said, you could easily have done this with double-sided sticky. Oh, my nails are a bit gummy. Okay. Oh, let's have a little bit of that nitty. That's from the Christmas jumper I made. Oh, that isn't very straight there. See, obviously sometimes you'll find that when you've cut them off, because that was probably a freestyle cutting off. Right, another bit there. I appreciate, again, if I ever get round to being able to fast forward these things, you'll be able to see this speeded up. But maybe one day. Although for me, not being ever so technical, I've done all right so far. So if you are enjoying these, please, I would love you to subscribe to my channel. Now, looks a little bit of a pig's ear like that, doesn't it? But that doesn't matter. But what we're then going to do, generally, I probably would have left this to dry for a while. I'd have placed my strong one of these, you know, over somewhere like here and go off and have a cup of tea or something, because that way they'd be nice and flat, they'd be stuck quite well. But so fingers crossed. What I'm now going to do, I'll tell you what, for 2 seconds while I leave that on there, let's just clear up my bits. So all of these little bits, still keep them, because you just don't know when you want to do a little version of the same thing. Okay, so let's just have a quick tidy up. Some of them go on the floor, they'll probably go in the bin. Right, so they're out of the way now. I think I can generally say those can go in the bin. So, right, let's put that out of the way. Meanwhile, I just want to show you, I've already cut it out. This was a Merry Christmas just from a die, because I thought it's quite busy with the strips. So just to put a very regular, ordinary sentiment on there, okay? So that's what I've done. I was originally going to put something like this big to stamp on there, Happy Christmas. And I thought, actually, that takes it away from the card. So the plan was, right, that's only been there a few seconds. But like I say, I'd have probably gone off and had a cup of tea. So now, ideally with a long pair of scissors, purely because you don't... just go along the edge, lovely and neat. Turn it around on each side. And the end. Obviously, these I'll have to make sure I clean up these scissors because there'll probably be some glue on these now, which is okay. And then see, they're already sticking bits. Look at that. Right, just get my bin, because these I can hand on heart say they can go in the bin. I don't need them. Right, so look at that. Now, if you wanted to, you could just literally stick that on the card, put your sentiment on, and you've got a card. But we're just going to do a little bit something else. Got out a couple of embossing folders, okay? So what I'm going to do is pop this through the embossing folder. I don't know whether to just do you know what? Is that too busy? No, I might do that one, although it doesn't matter because it's going to be quite subtle how it's done. Anyway, oh, I'm pleased to say, I can't remember if I told you, I actually dropped this and it broke my handle. But I got another one, which is good. That only took a few days to come. So when I was sorting out what cards I was doing, I was making a point of not putting them through the scissors. You know, which cards I was choosing, sort of thing. So there's that. Just a little tip for this. I'm going to use this one, okay, which is sort of stars and snowflakes, which is quite nice. So you pop this in. Seam side is going in first, okay. So just literally pop that in there. All right. Then put it in at an angle. All right, because that just gives the better pressure. Plate on top, and then always feels a bit tough, but don't worry about that. Obviously, if you just want to do some strips or something like this, that is absolutely fine. And you could have literally left that card as it was with nothing else in. But this just makes it, I just think, personally, I sort of feel it sort of pulls it all together just that little bit more. Okay, so a bit of glue probably. I don't know how well you can see that, but now, I mean, you see it on the rainbow, can't you, on there, which makes it, but that has pulled the whole of the card together beautifully, I think. Anyway, so lovely card. Now, all we're then going to do, I think for easiness, double-sided tape on there to stick it down. Could raise it up, but I'm not going to on this one. So a bit of double-sided, few strips of this. I need to get a wider one out. I've got wider ones, but this will do. Oh, can you see actually the other side? The impression, lovely, isn't it? An embossing folder can so make a card, just give it that little bit extra. Probably what I'd be tempted to do is put a couple of strips of this bit of glue in between, because that will sort of get into... Oh, it's because I didn't have the bottom out, so I don't... Okay, so with a bit of light, if you then weight it down. All right, so that's that. Find the ends, always a little bit awkward to start with. Sometimes I think you have to just roll it down. There we go. If not, you have to be careful. You end up pulling the other bit back up. But once you started it. Oh. Okay. Right, just pull a bit of it back. And again, you can do it one side and the other. Bit of it back, which is... Now, make sure again you've got your card how you want to open it. So we're going to be doing it and position it. I know I often say this, but do you know what? That's always a little bit awkward to position. Maybe I'll do it this way. So sometimes the glue allows you to there we have. And then you see do you know what? Although I was going to do that, I just think it almost get lost on there, really, doesn't it? So you know, you don't have to put anything on. I mean, obviously if you've got a strip on there that said Merry Christmas, I almost sort of feel that just feels too much. I thought that would be ideal on there, thinking sort of plainish, but I think it's too much on there. So what I would now do is you don't always have to emboss, but so what I'd probably do, I don't know, I've got my thing plugged in, my heat gun plugged in, so I just think actually something like that shaped, either cut out in a die. Let's just for now just do it with my, hope my scissors aren't sticky. Which you could raise up if you want, or just stick it on quite flat. Actually, just a thought, what you could have done, you could have then stuck that on there as well, and then put that through the embossing, which would really have had that blend in with the card. I just thought that to start with. So for some reason that seems as if that's on the hat, doesn't it? Oh, that doesn't look very thick, that end, and thin the other. So this is where you end up cutting it down and there's nothing left. Yeah, so I think if I was now to do this one again, which I might do another one and put on, I have got a Facebook page, although I've not really done much with it. It's just Rainy Day Crafting. I plan to sort of get that up and running, where if you're having a go at any of these, or your interpretation on a card I show, make, whatever. I'm playing now. This is ridiculous. This isn't right at all. Oh, it looks silly with that, doesn't it? Oh, dear. Oh, I think that's rubbish. Okay, but I think for now, I'm going to just put that on there, but I think I might change that. But anyway, here we have another card. Okay, so till tomorrow, thank you very much for joining me. See ya.